We just sailed on one of the most iconic cruise ships in the world, the Queen Mary 2. It's iconic because it's the last great ocean liner. Today, my evil twin here and I are going to share with you our 5 loves and a few hates of this unique ship. Or, as our British compatriots might say, we're going to tell you what's brill and what's swill. In fact, we have created a brillometer to tell you exactly how much we loved or hated each thing. For each of these 10 categories shown here, we're going to describe our experience and give whether we loved it, hated it, or it was just okay. Our goal is to be balanced and candid and have a little fun along the way. Come along for the ride. Now, before my starry-eyed brother waxes poetic about how wonderfully different an ocean liner is, let me give you the down and dirty version. Cruise ships maximize passenger amenities. Ocean liners maximize safety. Think low, heavy, fast, and ready for anything. No, they're fast. They're really fast. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is my show, remember? And I am not starry-eyed. Yeah, you are. And if it's your show, let's get on with it. Okay, let's start with where every cruise really begins, the embarkation process. Bad embarkations are often not the fault of the cruise line, but good embarkations are a thing of beauty, and this was a good one. In all, we've done 13 embarkations. Time-wise, the best was our MSC trip out of Rome. We were on the ship in maybe 10 minutes, but our cabin wasn't ready and the buffet wasn't open. The worst was one out of Haifa, Israel, that involved standing in line for 3 to 4 hours. On this trip, we were sailing out of Hamburg, Germany. About 15 minutes from arriving at the cruise terminal door to standing in our stateroom. And the luggage was there quickly. And the buffet was open. All things considered, this is perhaps our best embarkation ever. Okay, top score on the brillometer. Number 2, the staterooms. Okay, Queen Mary's 20 years old. She was completed in 2024. She's starting to get a little long in the tooth for a cruise ship. She's the oldest vessel in the Cunard fleet, but she appears to be well maintained. The decor is more classical, so it ages well, and things have been upgraded. The TV is new, the bathroom is nice, everything worked, it was comfortable, there was a combination of British and non-British plugs. We like the room very much. But here's where the quirks of the ship come through. Remember how I said the ship is heavy? 2 reasons for that. First, the steel in the hull is twice as thick. It's made to handle any weather the transatlantic crossing would send its way. Second reason, they run the steel up higher as well. Then they cut holes in the steel to make what they call a sheltered balcony. It's kind of like a bomb shelter with a window cutout. We chose one of those unique balconies, in part because we knew this might be our only chance to experience one. Now, to evaluate this, you must decide why you really want a balcony. If what you want is outside light, you want air in your bedroom, and the feeling of extra space, and you don't mind standing at the rail to gaze at the ocean, it's perfect. It's certainly much better than an interior cabin. And we had a thunderstorm one night while we were on the cruise. It was a great place to watch that. But if you want to sit on the balcony and sip a Mai Tai and watch the ocean roll by, this is not your place. It has all the ambiance of an empty cargo container. The window is too high to see out when you're seated, so you get to stare at a white wall. And because it's part of the hull, it gets more maintenance. We had painters come into the room at least 3 times during the trip, applying various coats of paint to the rust spots. And our room was unable to be used for a couple of hours each time until the paint fumes cleared. On one occasion, the wind came at just the right angle so that it echoed in the balcony, sort of like blowing into the top of a Coke bottle to get a musical note. Only it wasn't musical, it was just an echo chamber for howling wind. So to do a rating, it's a quality room, it's old, but maintained, well, and it's quirky. Bright eyes over so here. Where does that put it slightly on the positive side. But this one's my call, and I'm going to side with his wife and put it in the tolerable category. It's okay, but next time we're going to do a regular balcony. Fair enough. I'll deal with that assessment. On to topic number 3, the ship size and layout. Two of our favorite cruise lines are Princess and Holland America. Holland America ships are smaller. They have a more intimate feel. Princess ships are larger and carry more passengers. But to put it succinctly, QM2 is bigger, roughly the size of a typical Princess ship, but with the passenger capacity of a Holland America ship. So, look at this comparison between the new HAL ship and QM2. The ocean liner has 70% more space per passenger. That's a big deal. And it has a 25% higher crew staffing level. There's one more huge plus. On most modern ships, there's 2, or in most cases 3, major sets of elevators. They're often in the bow, midships, and aft. On Queen Mary 2, there are 4. So you get more space, and you get better access to space. Now, our ship was filled to capacity, but we were never crowded in any venue at any time. And there was rarely ever a long line waiting for an elevator. Now, the lounge chairs on the sunny side of the Lido deck filled up on a sea day. Some of the bars filled when a musician was performing. But overall, it was the most uncrowded ship experience we've had in a long time. I can picture that this would be really helpful on a transatlantic crossing if you had 8 straight sea days. Well, I spent 8 days on the cruise ship and I still didn't figure out all the places there were to go. So, but I'm with you. I love the space on this ship. Topic 4, food selection. This is a little different story. Like most ships, QM2 has a main dining room, a buffet, and a variety of alternative dining venues. It's confused by the fact that there's 4 different classes of passengers, and some venues are only open to a certain class. Now, there is an area that's an included buffet at lunchtime, but it's a specialty dining view at night. One pub offers lunch, but not dinner. Another venue is only open for afternoon tea. It took us half the cruise to figure this all out. But for this topic, what we're going to do is narrow in on the main dining room and the buffet, the 2 most common eating areas. Can I describe these? Sure, be my guest. This is a cruise on a British ship out of Germany. As you might guess, the 2 largest groups aboard this ship are Germans and Brits. Their tastes are not my tastes. Now, let me give you a gander at the menu on one typical night. These 2 pages are the whole menu. Now, on our last Princess cruise, I counted the complimentary things available on a normal night in the main dining room. Usually 30 items, sometimes a little more. On this menu, there are 17. So first, you take the Princess menu and you cut out half the items. Then my American eyes look at the items left. About a third of the remaining 17 are foreign to my taste buds. Things like smoked mackerel, Belgian endive salad, treacle pudding, rose-scented pavlova. What is that? Are you kidding me? Others might be more adventurous, but generally it came down to me to a choice of 1 or 2 things for each course. And I frankly like more choice than that. Okay, now let me move to the buffet. Remember, this is a ship with 2,700 passengers. I'm not sure how many had different buffet options in other classes, but this is the entire buffet for regular guests. It's about half the size of what I would normally expect. Before my brother gets even more agitated, let me assure you that everyone that was with us never went hungry. We always found things we liked at every meal. But for food selection, your harsh American critics put this over into swill territory, despite my wife's strong affection for the chocolate fondue fountain on the last night. Okay, topic number 5 must immediately follow the last topic. The food may not have offered the variety that we've experienced on other ships, but was it good? Oh my, yes. Let me start with room service. Cunard presents you with an option to have breakfast served to your stateroom every morning under the heading Breakfast in Bed. This was complimentary and was not just the continental breakfast items. You could have the proverbial full English breakfast if you wanted to order all the parts. We had breakfast room service almost every day of the cruise. It was always good, always fresh, delivered on time, and the order was right every time. We had lunch in a variety of venues, but as you might guess, the pub was my favorite. The Golden Lion Pub, you can get the pie of the day. By that I mean steak and kidney pie or steak and mushroom pie. It was all good. And the kidney pie was good too. I didn't think it would be, but it was. Despite the smaller menu, main dining room was some of the best food we've had at sea. And the one specialty dining experience was a cut above that. Here are some pictures. Food quality gets our highest rating. This is going to be top score on the Brillometer. Okay, we have 5 more areas to go, and we're going to go through them much more quickly. But before I get there, let me invite you to like and subscribe. Our channel is based on the premise that time is precious. Our goal is to help you travel as far as you can and as often as you can while you still have the money and health to do it. Thanks in advance. Topic number 6, formality. When my wife and I first sailed on a princess ship in 2005, we dressed like this on formal night. So did most of everyone else. And everyone on a Cunard ship in that era would have done the same. 19 years later, in the same year, we sailed on both Princess and Cunard. We dressed according to the current standard of that ship. Here's a comparison as to what we wore in 2024. Bottom line, most cruise companies have moved away from the true formal night. Far away. Cunard has not. This is one reason that we hesitated to come on this ship. But when we did, we decided to embrace the experience. I owned no suit, so I purchased a tuxedo. We're going to play a video here and you can see what the dance venue looks like on formal night on Cunard. Brother here can embrace it all he wants, but ships have moved away from formal night because the population has moved away from formal night. This is not a middle of the road thing. You're going to have to decide which, you're either going to love it or you're going to tolerate it. Because you'll be really out of place if you show up someplace like this in a polo shirt. So, Brillometer, it totally depends on your excitement for the dress up. Here's our, not score, but scores. Okay, we cheated a little bit on those scores, but this is a defining decision to make when you're coming on a Cunard ship. Topic number 7, entertainment. Again, let's be short and sweet. There are 2 major entertainment venues, the Planetarium and the Royal Court Theatre, which has opera house style seating for less than 1,000 people. We love the setting. It's intimate, very nice. Acts were good, they were all in English, lots of songs. There were several interesting enrichment type shows, like a cooking demonstration that was excellent. Oh, let's cut to the chase. This is just like the food. It's good stuff, but it serves a small range of interests. The planetarium hardware doesn't work, so they use it just like an auditorium. There's no comedians, there's one magician. Singers on the main stage were all from the British Isles. They're West End musical numbers, they were Irish fiddlers. The music in the bars was mostly from decades before I was born, on violins, harps, pianos, mostly classical, radio era standards, opera, jazz, maybe some ABBA. They're just for a more refined and engaged crowd than the typical American on board. Something you listen to when you're wearing a tuxedo at a fundraiser, as opposed to music that you'd listen to in a t-shirt and flip-flops. Okay, this is a suggestion for you Holland America fans who bemoan the loss of the Lincoln Center Stage. You can get your Lincoln Center Stage type fix on this ship, I guarantee it. Bottom line, there is a more limited and less diverse mix of entertainment. But what is there is very well done. I had one show I was wild about, but for the most part it was pleasant, but as Brits would say, not exactly our cup of tea. Topic number 8, the itinerary. Our cruise was 8 days, and we made 4 Norwegian port stops before arriving back in our departure port of Hamburg. These are natural beauty type stops. For 3 of the 4 stops, we were the only ship in port. They are small to medium-sized towns with easy excursions to very scenic places. It's the perfect itinerary for this kind of ship because the ship is small enough that you don't overwhelm the town. And sea days aren't a disappointment because there's enough room on the ship to find what you like to do.
Yeah, and the scenery's at 10. I agree, it's a winner.
Okay, thumbs up. Topic 9, service. As I mentioned earlier, there's a high crew to guest ratio, and we were never disappointed with the actual service that we received anywhere. But on every trip that I take, I make it a practice to ask several staff how long they've worked for the cruise line. To my surprise, several frontline servers said they were on their first contract. A fellow cruiser commented that Cunard added a new ship this year, the Queen Anne. In doing so, they poached crew from other ships, backfilling with new hires on these older ships. That matches our experience. At a management level, everything was spot on. And the servers were competent, but they didn't have that sparkle that comes from the comfort of working in a well-oiled machine.
Just you are a spoiled cruiser. You want great service, but you also want the side conversations with the staff, you want smiles, you want a little something extra every time. You want to be wowed, and you're not always going to be.
He's right. It may be unfair, but I'm going to give this just an okay. It was technically perfect, but they're still working on the sizzle. And my guess is that this will improve as the staff work together longer. Okay, last one. Number 10, Quirks. We're going to close today's show with the one we think that should put QM2 on your bucket list. We're each going to point out things that make this ship unlike any other.
Hidden elevators, some of the best views of the ship.
Multiple well-stocked game rooms in neat
Hallways
locations.
that show the who's who of people that have sailed on Cunard and
The
especially on Queen
largest
Mary.
and best library at sea by a long shot.
A small casino with an ocean view.
Art Deco decorations and the history of the British Empire on the
More
walls of the
nooks
ship.
and crannies than any other ship we know. You can always find a quiet place to do whatever you want.
The most dramatic afternoon tea on any cruise ship.
How about male ballroom hosts to dance with the ladies so that everybody has a dance partner?
Okay, bottom line, we loved QM2. But we used the Brillo meter to demonstrate one key idea. Don't come if you want to make this ship conform to your tastes. If you come, decide that you're going to embrace what cruising was like when this was the only way to cross the ocean. If you do that, you'll love it. Will we do it again? We hope so.
more
We
like
hope
you
to do it
have
as a
to.
transatlantic.
After all, you own a tux now. Where else are you going to wear it?
You got that right. Until next time, safe travels.